that we have is the team called Topol. It's actually based in Germany, and some of the team is also from the States. What it's trying to do is that through blockchain, it's trying to create a better system of micropayments and payments in developing economies. Like, one of the reasons why at least people and investors from Europe, let's say, they find it difficult to invest in LATAM or other countries is, apart from the regulations, how difficult the process itself is. So they're working to build a blockchain system to facilitate this furthermore. Then we have HealthBase, which aims to create a global blockchain-based platform for having health records so that people can access it anywhere. It's, I think you have use cases wherein if you have an insurance, a hospital cannot deny you facilities, which is happening quite a lot right now. So there are a lot of functionalities like that which HealthBase is trying to incorporate in its system. I'll talk a little bit about Iconiq token elements, but I'm around as well for further discussion if you guys are interested. So apart from having a say in what kind of projects you want to see in the accelerator, you get a say in token structuring, because as an investor, that's also, we understand that's important to you. And you have exclusive pre-sale rights. The first round is exclusively for the Iconiq token holders, along with the discounts, of course. And then we go on with the public sales. This is the company's timeline. We are fairly young as a company. We started around July. And we have the Q4, which is 2017, which is when we have the Iconiq tokens being launched. But right now, this is going to be the first ICO which is approved by the BaFin, which is the German regulatory for ICOs. So the process has been quite a time-consuming thing, but we are going to launch the first pre-sales in January this year. And the first batch is coming up in February. The startups have been selected, and we're going to scale mostly in Asia, and we're also looking at the States because one of the CEO is American as well. And then we'll aim for further acceleration and scaling. So the company is registered in Frankfurt. We'll have the first batch of the acceleration of startups in Berlin soon. And this is a little bit into the global scaling plans. Meet the Iconiq lab team over here. We have Patrick, who comes from an extensive auditing VC industries, and he has more than 7 years of practice. He was back in the States doing this before. And then there is Sandris, who is the strategy director. He's from Latvia. He's a blockchain PhD expert, and he has also been working with fundraising for quite a while. We have Max Lappenschlager, who is the sourcing director, and he's also coming from a VC background and investment banking background. There's me, who is the marketing director, so I do mostly the strategy behind the marketing for the accelerator and the startups. Then we have Lucas, who is the portfolio director of the company. Some of our strategic partners, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but TAS is a very big name in the world of blockchain and crypto especially. Then we have Venturon, we have Blockchain Bundesverein, which is like a German blockchain entity. We have Frankfurt School Blockchain Center, where we have a lot of top-notch research coming from blockchain from there. We have Santiment, which is a community of transparent projects, as I was just speaking about. We have Liquid Associates, which is the law firm that we collaborate with, not just for the legal structuring of the ICO and the accelerator, but also the startups in it. We have FSuccess, which is a sourcing platform. Again, this is also the platform from which we are accepting the applications, in case any of you are interested in checking it out later on. We have IICS. Apart from that, I just mentioned the partnerships with Bosch and IBM, and we also have partnered up with DWF quite recently. Thank you very much. We might have time for a couple of questions. I would go through the due diligence process in detail if there is someone who's more interested in knowing on what goes behind selecting teams and how we go around ICOs. If you have questions.
So in the ICO industry right now, I think there are about more than 1,500 tokens that have been issued. Out of those, I think about just 5 to 6 of them represent 80% of the total market cap. That is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some others.
These are currencies mostly, yeah.
Yeah, the currencies. So what makes other companies that are coming up with tokens think that they're going to make it up there? Because I don't understand what's the success rate of the token in the industry. So could you let us know about that?
So, yeah, I think from the point of view of us as an ICO accelerator, I would see it as it's not about the tokens itself. ICO is just a mechanism that we are using to make sure that the entrepreneurs with the right ideas get the funding, but it's more about the vision and the idea. At the end of the day, even Ethereum came up with a great vision. That's the reason they have been able to raise the funding that they did and the success that they have, even if it keeps going through ups and downs. For us, it's a lot about the idea. For the project that I was just showing you, Topol, it has this amazing vision of especially globalizing payments so that investment can stream into developing countries. So we do believe this as a vision works. That's the first thing. Second, we see that blockchain for them makes sense. The token structuring that they're using is something that the company and the business model that they have is right for. So we're not going to see, tokens itself cannot tell you if this will be successful or not. It's like any other startup. A business idea and a vision is what kind of help you to determine whether ICOs are suitable for the business model you're following, whether this is something that you see a lot of interest in. Most of all, are they solving a need that will sustain in the future or not?
Because the value propositions that have been proposed by various companies, they are very contradictory.
Yeah, if you're referring to, could you please repeat what you just asked?
Because like there's the company you mentioned, it wants to take cryptocurrencies into developing countries because it wants to solve that. But there are, I think, more than 10 to 20 companies doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's a lot about innovation, right? A company can differentiate itself in many ways. You can differentiate itself from the expertise of the team, you can differentiate yourself from the markets you're targeting on. So with this proposal actually comes in from Stanford to us, the Topol proposal. And they have a very strong business model that we think would be able to differentiate from the rest of the players in the market. They're targeting a different market which has not been targeted yet. So, this is something that makes the business model a bit more credible for us as an accelerator to select. But of course, it stays to see how they evolve overall according to the business plan or not. If you're in startups and fundraising, I guess at the end of the day, you are taking a risk, and it's a lot of belief that goes into the vision of the company overall.
And lastly, on team development, if you could shed some light on that.
Which slide?
Team development. Selecting good teams for your ICOs.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the due diligence process that we follow while selecting while we get an idea, while we're sourcing and screening applications. So first round is of course the screening the applications. We see the idea, we see what kind of need the company proposed is solving. Then there's a first point of contact. It's when we have a very short call with the team and see the vision behind. There's a lot of documentation collection, due diligence, documentation analysis, follow-up calls. In this we usually involve our legal partner that I just mentioned, Liquid Associates. We also have Santiment come in and take a look at how transparent is the system going to be. So that's how it evolves. Then we have in-person meetings, we have the technological review to see what kind of use case they have. Is the smart contract something that would hold up? What is the token structuring like? Then we look at the financing and the liquidity review. We have legal reviews, we have token reviews. We have a lot of stages. As you can see, we have 15 stages before selecting a team for the accelerator. We have contract drafting, ICO expense and coverage. So we also set a range of the expenditure that we would be giving it out as an accelerator up till the point of ICO and how much they're looking for. Is it even realistic? Is it being over liquidated? All of that things that we consider. We have pre-ICO services, consulting services especially as well, post-ICO support. So a lot of processes usually go into selecting a team. But to boil it down, the most important aspect is always the team and what lies behind it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So, if I hear you right, then you are like a merchant banker for an organization, like what they do in IPO. You do that in ICO.
It is similar because IPO is also like a mechanism that you use to scale up and raise funds, but we are in the crypto world and
You are at the start end and IPO is at the
in the conventional system of things.
Of conventional businesses.
To simplify, I think we are the bridge between the right kind of funds and the right kind of startups. that they want to invest in the crypto world through the mechanism of ICOs.
So can I, like my friend said, it looks like 80% of the ICOs are going to fail.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
Now, can I go and do an ICO without you?
Of course. I mean, if you're someone who... Pardon?
So without you, can I do it better? Or I really need you to do it better?
I mean, I think one of the reasons why companies like we do exist is because we do believe that we do it better, because we are leveraging on extensive experience here and our investor network over here. But of course, I mean, people have done ICOs before, people will keep doing ICOs in the future on their own as well, and most of them turn out to be, I mean, there is a dicey process that you get into, but of course you have successful ones and ones that turn into a failure as well.
No harm in saying there are scamsters.
Of course. I think this is one of the things in the market which is most susceptible to scams and frauds, which is why I keep underlining the due diligence process and the kind of surveillance that we try to take through our startups.
So if I go with you, then my reputation goes up?
That's a very subjective question, I guess, but we do give you our network, which involves all these business partners that I just mentioned, and you can take a look into their credibility as well. So we do think that we, as a starter especially, we bring you a lot in terms of networking, in terms of the investors you'd like to meet. We constantly keep growing our network as well. So it's a good, I think it's a good kickoff for you. And then the startup depends a lot on you and the team and idea.
Folks, wait. We're going to have in the panel discussion. That is going to happen later on. It's only on ICOs. So there are going to be many questions about ICOs.
Legally, I just want to know one more question for her.
The next speaker is already waiting and we already running the schedule. So we'll have a panel discussion where she's part of and we can have those questions there.
All right. So,
let me have a round of applause.
Thank you so much, guys. And I'll also be around in case you guys have questions later on.
And brings with him experiences from before the dot-com bubble days. As chief mentor at Startup Tunnel, he has discovered several startups and guided them through these early stage rounds. Today, he shall be talking about tokenization of startups, part 2 ICOs. Please welcome Mr. Aditya Sood.
Can we put the lights up so I can see you guys? I got no slides, nothing to show, so if we could have some okay, so thank you. Thanks for putting this thing together and for adding me to it at the last minute. My name is Aditya. I'm super old. I was around for the last time go around. And it's been a journey of just about 6 months when my head went completely crypto. How many people's heads are completely crypto? Half or more than half? Okay, so if your head is completely crypto, then what I'll be sharing with you is of only incremental value, perhaps. Some nuances, shading. But if your head is not completely crypto, we will rapidly build our way there in the next 19 minutes or so. So, most of you guys understand the Bitcoin blockchain, right? And it's easy, whatever. You've been exposed to it long enough that you understand it. You've also noticed that something important happened with the launch of Ethereum, right? Because added functionalities came on to a blockchain, right? Right? And you understand that the whole computational layer, smart contracts, world computer, whatever stuff is an interesting and substantial upgrade of basic blockchain proposition. And so it allowed dApps to come, and a lot of people started building dApps. There was excitement that you can build dApps, decentralized applications, on the Ethereum layer. And of course, around that time, if you were paying attention, I wasn't, 2 years ago, people were saying, fat protocols, that's where the money's going to be, that's where the action is going to be. Fred Wilson and his buddies are saying, Ethereum-like entities are going to take the market away. And the dApps are incidental, nice, but that's not where the real money is going to be. I actually think that's completely false, but that's for another day. 20 months ago, 2 years ago, there were hardly any competitors for Ethereum at a protocol platform layer. Now there are many, And if you build a dApp on Ethereum, you can also now build it to be compatible with other platforms. All that's well and good, but I think the real, I don't know, kind of change was the ERC20 protocol, which has been discussed this morning already. Because we were talking about tokens, the difference between a native and a ERC20 protocol. Everybody clear? Some people are clear. Okay, it simply says, we will provide you a blockchain as a service. Right? You want your token, you don't have to make it mineable. We will mine it for you on the Ethereum blockchain. You go ahead and make your token and wreck the world. Go for it. And we will be your backend partner, and we will track the exchange and transactions of that token on the Ethereum blockchain. Right? It's simple, ingenious, and world-changing. I think it really is. Like, not just because it's on Ethereum, but because now many other people are doing it. Kin, Strata, Lisk, NEM, there are many other protocols on which you can now launch tokens. And if you didn't understand this, then I don't know what you were doing in the last session, because you it's only with a non-native or grafted token that you can have an ICO, I think. I mean, except in rare circumstances, weird circumstances. So the first thing is, you got to understand that you can do this now, and the fact that you can do this actually changes things in a very serious way. Now I think the previous speaker covered a lot around what it takes, to launch a token publicly. Okay? The challenge is to actually have a token accepted by a community. And this is something that Vitalik spoke to recently, saying, hey man, you're doing it wrong. How do you get, chhapna aasan ho gaya, launch karna ab samajh aa gaya. But what about the adoptability? Who cares about your token? If nobody cares, it's going to sink like a stone. And the problem is now that this isn't just angel money. This is now small investor, mom and pop, retail investors' money you're playing with. So how do you get that tokens, how do you get traction, right? How many of you guys are startup entrepreneurs? Thinking about launching a token? Not thinking about launching a token, okay? Wiping their forehead, okay. So this is an old problem that we've been dealing with, now, since the classic age of startups, from 2005. How do you get early traction? How do you get anybody to care about your product, platform, technology, thingamajig, token? How do you get anybody to care? And I would say that is actually the real elephant in the room, the real problem, the thing that everybody needs to be thinking about. And related to that problem is an idea that I'd like to share with you called social mining. So it's something that I am still trying to gather my thoughts around, so your help and dialogue will help me to kind of formulate this idea. The thing is that Bitcoins come into existence because they are mined. You know this, right? But ERC20 protocols don't come into existence because they are mined. They come into existence almost via kun. Itihi, shaste, so fiat. Okay, there is a moment in which you declare there will be 10 million tokens, there will be 1 million tokens, there will be 21 million tokens. Whatever numerology floats your boat. You decide. Okay, but then this, in some ways, people have argued, is contrary